Your feelings are not wisdom, they are a trigger.
Every time you react, someone else writes your next move.
So today, we build a colder mind and a cleaner life.
Most people lose deals because they chase relief, not results, in the heat of pressure for instant comfort.
They send the message, slam the door, quit the job, then call it honesty later, and pay dearly.
Strong emotion shuts down planning, and your brain grabs the fastest habit it can find under stress.
That is why anger feels powerful, while it quietly makes you predictable again to everyone watching.
When intensity rises, slow your body first, exhale longer than you inhale, and by 10 seconds.
In that gap, ask one question. What outcome matters a week from now in your life?
In a meeting, they insult your work, and your face stays calm, while your notes get sharper.
You reply with numbers, not heat, and the room realizes you cannot be baited under bright lights.
People fuse events with identity, so a setback becomes a verdict on their worth in seconds.
Then they defend their ego and sacrifice the mission just to feel safe and approved by others.
Your mind wants certainty, so it labels pain as proof, instead of temporary data too quickly.
Once labeled, you act smaller, and your world shrinks to match the label every day behind closed doors.
Separate the event from the story, name the fact, then name the feeling, and keep them apart.
This is the zero state. You watch the emotion, but you do not merge with it.
Your project fails, and you say, "The launch missed. I feel heat. Next, I rewrite the plan."
Your team sees a leader, not a victim, and confidence spreads without a speech around the table.
Hope seduces you into waiting, and waiting feels noble, but it is a quiet surrender in disguise.
You tell yourself, it will work out, while nothing changes in your calendar or habits at all.
The brain loves fantasy because it gives reward chemicals without paying the cost of action right away.
So you feel progress and lose urgency, and the opportunity expires in silence behind you without warning.
Replace hope language with intent language. Say, "I will," then schedule the first move this hour.
Make the move small and brutal. A call, a cut, a draft, a resignation letter, done tonight.
Debt rises, you stop praying for relief, you open the ledger, and cancel 3 comforts tonight.
Within a week, your numbers breathe again, because action does what wishing never could for you.
Fear is supposed to save your life, but now it saves your excuses at work each morning.
It whispers danger when you are safe, and you treat the whisper like law anyway, without proof.
Evolution built you for tribes and predators, not contracts, cameras, and public judgment every week online, non-stop.
So your nervous system fires alarms, even when the real risk is only embarrassment in public.
Treat fear as a signal, not a stop sign. Write the risk, then write the mitigation.
If mitigation is cheap, move now. If it is costly, prepare, but do not freeze in place.
Your fear becomes a checklist, and that checklist becomes momentum you can trust in hard moments.
Before the presentation, you rehearse the opening twice alone, and fear turns into focus on delivery.
Pity makes you carry problems you did not create, until your own life collapses around you.
You call it kindness, but it is often guilt wearing a halo bright in private at home.
Empathy understands pain. Pity absorbs pain, judgment and energy over time, very fast.
People sense the leak, and they return with the same crisis, because the price is paid.
Offer clarity, not rescue. Set one boundary, one limit, and one consequence you enforce every single time.
Support growth behaviors, and stop funding repetition. Your help should build strength, not dependence long term.
A friend asks for cash again, you offer a budget plan, not another loan from you.
They may hate you today, but they respect you later, and you stay stable and focused.
Needing approval turns your personality into a product, and products are negotiated down by everyone in meetings.
You smile too fast, explain too much, and betray your own position there in seconds, on instinct.
Status anxiety makes you trade power for comfort, because rejection feels like danger to the body.
So a compliment becomes a bribe, and you move your standards without noticing the shift at all.
Stop scanning faces for permission. Scan the room for information, leverage, and alignment instead, first thing.
Speak fewer words. Choose one clear ask, and let silence do the heavy lifting for you.
In a review, you do not beg. You present results, and you ask for the raise once.
If they refuse, you do not argue. You ask what metric changes it, and you leave.
Soft leaders delay hard decisions, and delay becomes decay inside the team over months, by everyone.
They keep the toxic performer, because firing feels cruel. Then everyone pays later in morale and trust.
Your brain confuses discomfort with danger, so you protect the problem to avoid feeling guilty in the moment.
Meanwhile, good people watch, and they learn that standards are optional now, so effort drops fast too.
Act like a surgeon. Identify the tumor, cut clean, and communicate the principle, not emotions, ever.
Replace excuses with outcomes. If behavior breaks trust, the decision is already made in leadership, by policy.
A teammate poisons meetings. You document it, end it, and the room finally breathes again together.
You feel the sting for a minute. Then you feel the team rise for many months afterward.
Desperation makes you loud, and loud makes you cheap in every negotiation room you enter, instantly.
When you need the deal, you leak it through your voice, and people smell it across the table.
Your body reads need as scarcity, and scarcity triggers shortcuts, lies, and panic thinking under pressure.
Detachment removes the panic, and suddenly you can play strategy instead of survival for the mission.
Anchor on process, set your terms, decide your walkaway point, and accept it internally before speaking.
Then show calm warmth, not hunger, and let the other side chase clarity on their own.
A client pressures price, you pause, repeat value, offer one option, and stay still in control.
They either respect the frame or walk, and either outcome protects your future and your peace.
Fear of loss makes your hands shake, and shaky hands make expensive mistakes in public moments.
Over-talk, over-promise, and overreact, because you are fighting to survive socially, not wisely.
The mind hates uncertainty, so it invents catastrophes, then tries to escape them fast with noise.
Acceptance breaks the loop, because what is accepted cannot threaten your identity anymore, at all.
Visualize the worst case, let it happen in your mind, then say, I can handle that.
Now act from choice, not fear, and your voice will drop into authority in the room.
You walk into a layoff rumor, already prepared, already calm, already interviewing elsewhere with confidence.
When it hits, you move clean, because you practiced the loss before it arrived in your mind.
Most people either explode or suppress, and both paths give emotion the steering wheel at work.
Suppression turns into a later blast, and explosion burns bridges you might need for years, quietly.
Naming an emotion recruits the thinking brain, and thinking brain weakens the chemical storm in seconds.
Analysis converts feeling into information, and information can be directed like a tool, not a weapon.
Use the 3 why drill. I feel anger. Why? What status fear sits under it?
Once you see the root, choose a response, a boundary, a request, or a plan.
A colleague disrespects you. You note the trigger, then address behavior privately, not publicly, with facts.
You keep your dignity, and you keep options, because you stayed in the analyst seat.
Some people act cold on the outside, and they create enemies before they gain power.
They confuse control with hostility, and they lose allies that could have protected them in conflict.
Humans trust warmth, so a blank face triggers suspicion, even when your intentions are clean.
A mask is not deceit, it is social skill, and skill reduces unnecessary friction with others.
Keep your inner state steady, but offer small signals, eye contact, a nod, a measured smile.
Let people feel safe while you keep your boundaries, your standards, and your strategy intact.
Your boss jokes, you laugh lightly, then you steer back to the objective with calm confidence.
Your enemy baits you. You smile, ask a neutral question, and watch them reveal themselves.
Announcing your next move feels exciting, but it hands people a lever to pull against you.
Talking gives premature reward, and reward kills the hunger that builds real results over months.
The mind confuses narration with progress, so you relax, and momentum leaks away in private.
Also, information attracts interference, even from friends, because opinions become obstacles in disguise for you.
Keep plans private until they are irreversible. Share only with people who add skill or access.
In negotiation, state terms, then stop. Let silence surface the other side's real priorities and constraints.
You build the business quietly, post nothing, ship weekly, and let revenue speak later to skeptics.
When questioned, you stay vague and polite, and you keep control of timing and direction.
When you choose control, some people call it cold and try to pull you back into noise.
If you fear solitude, you will accept weak company, and weak company writes weak standards.
Crowds soothe anxiety, but they also dilute ambition, because belonging demands compromise and performance.
Solitude restores signal, and in signal you can judge events as useful or useless for strategy.
Schedule alone time like training, review decisions, upgrade skills, and build a circle by value.
When chaos hits, do not panic. Ask, where is the ladder? Where is my next step?
Markets crash, you reduce debt, buy competence, and position for the rebound with patience and discipline.
Betrayal happens, you cut clean, learn the pattern, and your boundaries become sharper for life.
You will still feel pain, but you will not obey it, and that is freedom.
This week, pick one trigger, pause, analyze, act, and prove you are not programmable under stress.
If you want the next level, subscribe and meet yourself in the silence without excuses.